There we go. All right, so it is. Oh, I should turn this down because I'm going to hear a triple echo and it's going to be really weird. There we go. Like that. Perfect. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I am here. I am also on YouTube Live right now. So if you're watching on YouTube, I also have TikTok over here. If you're on TikTok, I have YouTube here. And it is the final day, probably the final day, of my Let's Show Up on Live every single day to talk about language coaching and the coaching week that I'm hosting. So if you are watching and you've been joining me at even just one day this week, then you already know there's a combination of things that I do. Lots of chit-chatting, ranting about the coaching week because I'm very, very excited about it. I want everyone all the time and all the places to know about it. Answering questions, and I'm also just plugging out my phone so it doesn't die. And I am also doing some work. So I finished uploading all the things that needed to be there for the main sort of start of the coaching week, and I just opened the doors for people who have joined. So there's still time. So if you're someone who's kind of been on the fence, not really sure if you should participate in the coaching week, then just know that we start on Sunday and you have until that morning on Sunday. So 9 a.m. EST, my time, that is when we sort of finish up. That is when we will sort of slowly start the actual coaching week. I guess maybe I should put it down a little further. I'm like looking at the TikTok version of me and realizing that people might not be able to see my head. Oh, but I guess that's okay. There we go. You guys can see me over here. And then I think YouTube's fine. YouTube, you can see me. Yeah, I think we're good. So yeah, I will be doing some work while I'm chit-chatting, but also before we start, or before I like jump into my work stuff, if you have never met me before, this is the first time that you're seeing me. Hello, my name is Bront'e. I am a language coach. I help language learners create consistent study routines so that you can start using the languages that you're learning. And yes, this means one or multiple languages. When I say consistency, I mean sustainable, so something you can actually maintain when life gets in the way and, when stress is happening. And so this week I've been on live every single day, promoting, sharing, talking about, raving about, all of the excitement that I have around this experience that I decided to create for people, because the doors to my language coaching membership are opening up on the 18th. And I thought, what better way to celebrate this opening, or reopening, than to have a week where people get to experience what it's like to work with a language coach, what it's like to work with me, and what it's like to be a part of that membership, but in a sort of contained space. So for 1 week only, we start on the 13th, I am pre-opening the doors just to this 1 week experience, which is Language Coaching Week. Essentially, you get me and my support for an entire week with your language studies, answering your questions, giving you support. And by the end of the week, even if you decide not to work with me, we are focusing on 3 different things that are going to give you a really good head start or reset if you've been feeling like you're off track. So we're going to be focusing on clarity. So one area of clarity, which is guiding principles. That's pretty much like your why for learning languages. We're going to be focused on goal setting, so helping you to choose and create strategic and achievable goals for your language studies. And if you're trying to focus on multiple languages, then you're going to have a goal for each one of those. And then we're going to focus on schedule creation, so creating a personalized schedule for your language studies, so that, again, if you decide not to work with me, you have everything you need to actually just start studying. Like, you could take the goals, take the schedule, take your guiding principles, and actually start studying the languages that you're trying to learn. But if you choose to continue working with me and you join my coaching membership, then we can work together to get you to where you're trying to be, to help you reach your goals, to help you make more progress, because that's my job and that's what I love to do. So over the course of this live, you might hear me sharing stories about like my members and my people, just because as it comes up, I love to talk about them. I love to rave and celebrate their progress and their wins. You might just hear me reading out loud some of the things that I'm doing. That means you get a little sneak peek into what I'm doing and what I'm focused on. Otherwise, if you are joining me again, whether you're live on YouTube or here on TikTok, if you are someone who is trying to learn languages, please let me know. What language or languages are you learning, interested in learning, getting ready to learn? And then if you have any questions about language learning or language coaching, feel free to ask, because I'm going to be here for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, like I usually am. And then, yeah, I think after this week, though, some people have shared that they're really interested in it. So I think after this week, I'm going to get myself on a schedule for live streams to be able to do some, well, combination. I think some people really liked when I do my random Q&As, so I want to do some of those. And then also, like, we had a conversation about it yesterday, when I play games in multiple languages. Like, I'm going to be doing that anyway. So I can just show you guys what game I'm playing and what language it's in. So in the future, I think that's something that I would like to try out. And if that's something that you're interested in, then once I get a schedule all set up and started, stay tuned for that. But yes, as I said, I have the community already set up and ready to go. Let me monitor the sound for this really quickly on YouTube. Let me see. Oh, it's really loud. I think we're better now. Okay. So while I'm waiting for, because YouTube's a little bit delayed sometimes, so while I'm waiting for that to just make sure the volume's okay, if you on TikTok have any questions, let me know. I think it's better now. Yeah, we're good. We're good. And what do I have to do? I wrote a whole checklist. I have a list. I have a list of things that I'm going to get done. So I have to send the newsletter out to everyone, to everyone in my membership, just reminding them of the coaching week that they can opt into. So anyone who's currently in my membership gets to go into the coaching week for free, quote unquote. It's just a bonus. And what I usually do in those emails is I share some important posts that have happened across the week that I want to turn their attention to, or replays, all those things. And then I have a couple things I need to create: the Notion space, the checklist, and then I have the workbook already done that's going to be a bonus for this coaching week. I just need to get the link. Yeah. Okay. So I'll check back in with the audio here. But yeah. So what should I do first? Newsletter. I should do the newsletter first. Why is that even a question? I'm like, I should do the newsletter. All right. Let's see. I think I'm going to do one more thing with the settings here because I think the audio is not great. Let me do 500. All the way up. And here. Okay, I'll check back in. Okay. It's just so interesting because when I just got some new tech stuff, and so I know I have to fine tune all of the settings. So for example, my camera is new, the mic is new, and so I spent all evening last night playing around with the settings, trying to figure out what exactly I wanted it to look like, feel like. And I think, and this is mostly just computer stuff, so if you're watching on TikTok, then this is not applicable to you, and you were like, Bront'e, I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, you're fine. You're okay. What am I doing? Mic here. Okay, so I can hear the microphone. Oh, okay. So if I turn it, this is up. Turn it down. I think I need it here. Okay. I think it's fine. If you're over on YouTube and you're watching right now, just let me know how the audio sounds. It sounds a little echoey to me, but it's probably just me. There we go. All right, so I said I'm going to work on the newsletter first. So every week I send a newsletter out to the people in my membership. Like I said, just overview of what's happening, what's going on, what should they keep their eyes out for or look out for, any updates, all that jazz. So I'm going to do that. And then, like I said, I have a list of things that I'm working on. And I'm going to send or create the Notion space. And the checklist are the things that I want to do next. Oh, I think I know why the audio is weird. Okay. Because this is going to bother me. And I'm like, if I can't listen to it, you can't listen. Like, you're gonna. Okay. Turn this off. Now it's echoey. This is weird. If you're watching on TikTok, you're probably like, Bront'e, I don't know what you're talking about, with this audio thing. It's because you're not hearing the audio from this. You're just hearing the audio from my phone. But if you're on YouTube, you're hearing the horrible audio that I am trying to fix. But like I said, I just got a new mic and I've been playing around with the settings and trying to figure out what this needs. I think it needs output gain less. And this is one of those things that, like, it was fine at one point and then it stopped being fine and I don't know what happened. Maybe it's the actual audio. Maybe if I decrease it, what's happening? Because yeah. So here's it at maximum. I want to keep it at 100. Hello. If you are just joining, you're watching my unofficial segment of me troubleshooting tech. So hello, welcome. But officially, I'm just ranting and raving about language coaching and my coaching week that I'm hosting next week. So if you have questions about language learning, language coaching, the coaching week, let me know. Otherwise, listen to me as I fix the tech. And if you can't hear me over on TikTok, please let me know if you need me to speak up louder. Um, let's see. Because it's not. Maybe. Let me try something else. Because now this is one of those things that my stubbornness will not let go. But that's okay. Because then maybe I can turn this off. And here. Is it better? Better now? No. So Crisp was supposed to be on. See, this is how I get distracted. I'm like, hey, I'm going to come on live. I'm going to talk about all these amazing things happening right now, and I'm going to get some work done. And what actually happens is I spend 30 minutes with tech. My life. It's all good. It's all good. I'm not complaining. Okay. So without this, I don't know how to fix it. Okay, I guess audio is just going to be weird on YouTube for a bit. If it gets really annoying, guys, let me know. And for TikTok, hello. You are not having to deal with that. You're welcome. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, other than going in here, like it's the stuff that I probably would be able to figure out later. But of course, the stuff decides to start happening while I'm live. Like it wasn't like this before, but suddenly I come on live and it's like, hey, remember all that work you did to get the tech set up? No, it didn't work. Doesn't work anymore. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, it is this. Was I clicking on the oh, I was. I forgot. So what happened was when I switched the mic inputs, I still have mic 2 when I shouldn't because now there's only one mic. Okay. We're getting somewhere. This. No noise gate, no compressor. Oh no, definitely a compressor. But we need to switch these things around. I think. Okay. Better? I think it's getting better. Ooh, it's getting. Okay. There we go. Move attack down. Here, I think the ratio needs to be. Yeah. Okay. Here. Because I think I also have crisp on, so it's like. And this is the. Oh, it's an update. Oh my goodness. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Oh, you can hear the typing. I like that, but I think some people might find that annoying. So I don't know. I don't know if we should have this at a different level. It's better here, kind of. And here, gain, gain. Let me put it at default first. Okay, here's the default. Now the ratio is going to go up. Attack is going to go up. Relieve. Okay. Yep, this is what you didn't sign up for, but what you're getting anyway. Oh my goodness. Okay, so move this up and so again, I think I said when I'm just trying to talk right now so I can hear the microphone so I can adjust the settings. So you are going through it, guys, if you're listening on YouTube. Apologies. Okay, default again, but increase this and decrease this so that it sounds better. And here. Okay. Okay. Let me check YouTube. How are we sounding, YouTube? How are we sounding? Not great. Oh my goodness. I will figure this out. I think I'm going to have to do a whole fake live stream later to just test it out a little bit more. But we're going to stick to where it is. I'm going to turn it off so I'm not hearing my echo. And we'll just deal with it. Apologies in advance. All right, back to work. I said I had work to do. We're actually going to get started. But yes, as I'm working, if you have questions about language learning, about language coaching, feel free to ask. Right now, I'm going to get this newsletter done. So this is a newsletter that I am going to send to the current members of my language coaching membership. And it's really just a roundup email. So I'm giving everybody all the things that have happened that they might have missed, links to new updates, latest community news, some fun posts that have happened. And then I have a section all the way at the bottom that is specifically for my VIP people. So VIP people are the ones who have taken my course, which is a prerequisite for joining that VIP space, because I don't teach my course in any other space than the course. And it's all about the cycle of consistency. And once people have done that, then they can, if they'd like to, join in on having weekly support from me versus bi-monthly or once a month, which are the other two tiers of my membership. And so that means that my VIP people have weekly accountability with me and office hours that they can opt into at any time, because a lot of the work we're doing there is heavily supported by, influenced by what I teach in that course. And if people haven't gone through that, then I can't really help you on a weekly basis with the specifics that I do, because a lot of the questions that might come up will be in my course. A lot of the resources that you're looking for will be in the course. But when it comes to the bi-monthly and monthly, so aka light and pro members, everything in there is based off of a different system, a different sort of framework or structure. I just have I worked really hard on trying to get clear on that, because I was like, if I'm not clear on these different tiers, then how am I going to explain it to other people? But this coaching week that I am hosting is all about the pro membership. So the main membership that most people will, when they work with me, will participate in. So I wanted to give people a chance to see what it's like to be there, because like I said, we get bi-weekly coaching. So there's one live coaching opportunity and then one asynchronous or not live opportunity for coaching. And then there are live workshops or experiences or trainings, lots of different things that happen in addition to that. Because one of the other things I really wanted to make sure to do is to not overwhelm people. I guess this section, let me do that later, because I'm going to have to think through all those pieces. And instead, I'm going to make another tab. No, I can put it in the coaching week. I don't have to put it anywhere separate. Scroll up. Product page. Coaching week. Workspace. There we go. So I don't need to put all of these things here, but what I am going to create is, oh, I know what I can use. If I can find it. So I make a lot of Notion template resources, some of which I offer as like freebies, so things that you can just download for free, some things that I include in some of my paid resources, and then some that I don't really offer ever, except as like a bonus to something else. So I'm going back to one of those so that I can use it as a template for what I'm about to do now. I know I'll just have to change one specific part of it, because when I created these, it was before Notion had buttons. And if you use Notion, but you don't know about the buttons, I used to use the call outs as a button. And like sometimes I still have to do that if it has to go to a separate page, or not a separate page, into like a external site. But if it's internal, oh my god, buttons are amazing. Or to like add in a new table. I had to do this whole, it was a lot of work. Not really a lot of work. Okay. It wasn't a lot of work. It was just a little tedious. And now it's simplified. So I'm going to pull that piece up from my Notion, because I have to make the Notion template for the coaching week, and then I have to make the checklist. And I pretty much have the checklist because it's based off of the workshops that I did a few months back, but I have to put it in checklist form. But so many things. So many things. Planning, tracking, refining, Notion template. Yes, this. This one. Either one works. Okay. I guess I didn't need to make that then. So 3C for columns. We're going to say workshop number 1. Guiding principles. There we go. And then let's copy these over. No, wait. Okay, if you're joining right now, I need you to pick a color to help me out within this because it really doesn't matter what color. So our options are green, blue, purple. Green, blue, purple. So let me know what color I should choose. Like, this is what I usually. So when I was teaching, I used to ask my kids this all the time because I would have like a slew of pens and things. And anytime I was writing notes or doing something, I would always be like, okay, kids, I need your help. This is a big deal. You're like, run it up. And then just go, can you pick a color for me? Can you pick a color? Which pen should I use? It got to the point where they just knew to expect it, which is fine. Green. Okay, green. We're going with green. Workshop number 2, workshop number 3. Oh, maybe I should put it here. Guiding principle. No. Nope. Change my mind. And we're going to put this here and this here. Goal setting is workshop number 2, and workshop number 3 is schedule creation. And I said I could do buttons. I'm going to open the page. Go to guiding principles worksheet. Open GP worksheet maybe. So that actually fits. And we're going to turn this into a page. Of course it did. Oh, my vision destroyed. That's fine. Copy link. Add it here. Not center peak, side peak. There we go. I don't know why I don't like that, but I'm not going to let it bother me right now. Oops. Okay, okay. And then the button. There we go. Open goal worksheet. And I should put CW in the titles of these so I don't get confused. 2023 CW. There we go. Okay, and then rename CW. Open schedule sheet. There we go. Perfect. Oh, I know what I could do. Table. Maybe I'll put a table. How do you pronounce your name? Yes, it said like the author, Bront'e. Like Emily, Charlotte Bront'e, the Brontës, yeah. It's not where my name came from, but that is absolutely how you pronounce it. Thank you for asking. Let's see. So if you're just joining right now and you're like, what is going on? I decided today I'm not going to do crazy rants like I've been doing this whole week. And also, I want to actually get stuff done. Whereas before, I would say I'm going to get stuff done and then I don't. So this week, or today, I am getting some of the final pieces ready for the coaching week that I'm hosting next week, starting on Sunday. One of the things is a Notion template. So I'm literally working on Notion right now and setting it up. It's really just going to be a worksheet, like workspace for people to take notes and do their brainstorming on the task and the workshops we're going to have live. And because I love Notion, I just want to do that there. But then I'm also going to make a PDF version for people who maybe it feels like a lot to jump into Notion, so that people can still get what they need, which is the goal of this, is to take notes. And if it feels too much to use this Notion one, I want people to still have what they need. So I'm going to make those two versions, but I do my thinking on here first just because I can play around with it a little bit more. And I'm thinking of adding in a table at the bottom. You can't see it, but I am verbally describing it to you. I think I'm going to do a table at the bottom actually and put CW coaching week worksheets. Make a new database. And then I think what I want to do is add those 3 worksheets here instead. There we go. And now the button looks better. And then I can hide this. And no one will ever know it's there. I mean, you will, but in my mind, you will never know it's there. And I'll call this table of contents. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I just opened the doors today for people who are joining the coaching week. I opened it a little early because I'm very excited about it and I want people to be able to explore where everything is happening. Because usually I think things like this would most often happen on like Facebook and a Facebook group. But I host everything that I do on Mighty Networks. And I'm like, not many people know that platform. So let me give people an opportunity to hop in, see what that's all about. And then when we start on Sunday, the calls are going to be hosted all there for the most part. Except for the bonus things, which was a little secret for people joining in. I can put a tag August 23, Aug 20. There we go. And pull that down. Perfect. And then I'll make some banners later. I'm like, if I try to hop into Canva now, I'm going to stay in Canva for hours and then I won't actually get the stuff done. I guess I don't need this anymore. So essentially what I'm creating is, like, I have a template that all of my Notion things follow. But for this, I'm creating 3 separate columns for people. So workshop 1 is going to be the first column for guiding principles. The second workshop we're doing is goal setting. So I'm going to have a column for that. And then the third one is going to be schedule creation. And so I'm making those 3 columns with buttons. I need to put this 3. Guiding principles. Yeah, that works. Okay. And now I have to just make the actual worksheets. Goal setting, schedule creation. So basically this whole week is a combination of things that I wanted to offer to people. So my official language coaching membership opens up on the 18th. And in preparation for that, I thought it would be really cool to give people a chance to see what it's like to, one, get language coaching in general, because a lot of people have never had that experience before, don't know what it is, what it's like to get coaching from me personally, and then also what it's like to be a part of my coaching membership. I wanted to give all of these different things and figured having a coaching week would be a great opportunity. So it's 1 week. I'm going to be there the entire week supporting people who join. And my goal is to make sure that people walk away with 3 things, even if you decide after the fact to not continue working with me. So some clarity around guiding principles. I talk about guiding principles a lot, but it's essentially your why for learning languages. We're going to go there first, because if you don't have clarity, I always recommend that before anyone creates a plan, they start off with clarity. So we're going to do that first. Then we're going to do some goal setting. So setting sustainable, achievable goals, and then finally personalized schedules for your language studies. What inspired you to take this career path? I'm obsessed with learning languages. That's pretty much it. So I taught for 5 years, and right at the edge of when I was thinking about doing something different, it was around the time when I was teaching remotely. We had to switch in, pandemic, all that jazz. And I was talking with a friend just about how much I actually loved working from home and setting my own hours-ish. And then trying to think about, well, what is it that I'm good at, that I also like doing, that I could turn into a career? And realize that a lot of people often ask me questions about language learning, like my friends and, people in Discord groups that I'm in would ask me a lot about, like, hey, Bront'e, help me create my schedule. Because I'm a super nerd when it comes to organization and schedule creation and all of those things. So anytime someone needed to create a schedule, get organized, or find something, they usually would ask me. And then I'm like on Canva or in Notion creating the thing for somebody. And then I was like, oh, people are asking me about this. Maybe I can help more people and turn this into like a thing. So language coaching was born. And I started back in 2021 officially. So now because I have so many ideas and I'm always creating things, I have a million different ways that I support people, but the best way and the way that I'm most excited is being able to work with people either one-on-one or in groups. And that's why I started my membership. Yeah, you can tell, like, I can talk about this all the time. But that's why I started my membership, because it gives people a space to have ongoing support from me versus, having to check in when they remember. But knowing that I'm always going to be there to support you in whatever level or way, I think is really valuable. And so I started off with a course, and that course I'm redesigning. But a lot of people I know that have taken that have really loved it, because I talk about the cycle of consistency. So getting clear, so that clarity part, planning, launching your studies, your plan, and all those pieces, accountability, tracking your progress, and then refining it. And like, that's the cycle that we go through as language learners. So that course is what that teaches, or the course teaches that. And then my membership is focused on the coaching aspect. So people who need more accountability, need someone to keep them on track, maybe need someone to help them figure out what kind of plan to create for themselves, goal setting. Most of the people that I work with are learning multiple languages. Some people are learning languages that I'm not learning, and then some are learning languages that I am learning or no. So for example, I have some people who are studying Spanish, French, Japanese, Korean, Mandarin, Chinese, American Sign Language. Those are languages that I have on my list, either that I'm pretty fluent at, like fluent enough to be able to have conversations with people and read things without fear or struggle. And then, there are some of those on that list that are not as great and I'm working on. And then there's some people in my group that are learning languages that I am not learning at all, like Swedish, Finnish, Icelandic, Danish, Arabic are some of the languages. So what I try to show people is, well, one, as a language coach, I'm not teaching anyone the language, but the combination of having a teacher and a coach is really powerful, because what I do essentially, to like break it down and generalize it a lot, what I do is I help people learn how to learn. We're not really taught how to learn as we're going through school. We're just taught information. And so when you have a language teacher, they are teaching you the information. They're teaching you the grammar, their vocab. They're giving you opportunities to practice the language with them or with other people. Like, they're helping you acquire the language. But outside of the classroom, it is your responsibility and your job to maintain what your teacher has helped you with and continue it beyond what they've done. Like, they're assigning homework. It's your job to get the homework done. They're assigning, additional work or reading or practice or reviews, whatever it is. It's your job to know how to do that in a way that works best for you, and then to actually do that. And no fault to any of us who are struggling with it, but we aren't taught how to do these things. And then to add on to that, anyone who is learning multiple languages, then you have 2 or 3 teachers that you have to then juggle and figure out, well, how am I managing the work that I have to do between these 2 or 3 teachers and my full-time job, and I'm going to school, and the life beyond language learning. And so I'm like, don't worry. That's literally my job, to help you figure those things out so that you can enjoy the process of learning languages. And my sort of core focus and how I support people is doing what works best for you. Because especially nowadays, there's so much information online about how to learn languages that it gets overwhelming. And there's a lot of information that contradicts each other. So there's people saying, like, you should start by speaking first. No, don't do that, because you're going to learn like poor habits. You need to start with a textbook. No, don't use a textbook, because then you're going to sound like a textbook. You need to learn, from actual conversations. No, don't do that. Like, use Duolingo. Don't use Duolingo. Don't use it. Like, everybody is telling you their version of what works best for them. And so what I often say to that is that people are both right and wrong. And only you can make the decision about what you need to do. But sometimes we just need help. Sometimes we just need to talk things through with someone, or we need just to get the permission that, hey, it's okay that this is a struggle right now. It is okay that you don't know yet. Let's figure it out together, and know that what you set out and plan for yourself in theory might not always work in practice, and that is okay. And also know that these things change. Like, the way that I studied languages in high school is very different than the way I studied languages in college when I was taking a class. So I took Japanese for 3 years in college. And it's very different than the way I self-studied languages in college. And it's very different than the way I learned languages when I had a full-time job. And it's very different than the way I do it now. But the point is that you have to continue to reflect and know what works best for you, so that you can adapt to all these changes that you might have to make without feeling guilty, without feeling, bad about it, or giving up entirely. Because that's my worst, that breaks my heart when I hear people giving up because they feel like they don't have a language gene, or they're not good at it, or people just say they don't have enough time. Because time, I think, is a big, I don't want to say it's an excuse, because it is valid, and I don't want to discredit anyone's feelings about how much time they have. But the reason why most people feel like they don't have enough time to learn languages is because you see so many people online or in person who are spending anywhere from 3 to 6+ hours on their language studies every single day. And then you feel like you have to somehow find 3 to 6 hours every single day to do the exact same things that they're doing. No. All the people that I start with, especially when you're starting off with a habit, I tell them, and I'm telling you now, that you can start with 10 to 15 minutes 2 to 3 times a week. Are you going to make fast progress with that? Absolutely not. But are you going to make progress? 100%. You just have to be really strategic with your time. And one of the first students I had in my course, who also happened to be my friend, but she joined the course not because she was my friend, but because she was like, I know what you do, Bront'e, and I'm tired of making excuses, and I really need to get back on track. And she joined, and she's someone who, even though she's my friend, was like, I don't believe you when you say all I need is 10 to 15 minutes a few times a week, but I'm going to trust the process. And she went through the course and was like, okay, I believe you now, because it's working. Because it's really just about, a lot of the reasons why we tend to spend a lot of time, or feel like we have to spend a lot of time, is because we're routine wandering. We're a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're going to do this textbook and then listen to a podcast. You don't need to do 11, 11 things in your language studies to make progress. You can focus on one thing at a time, but you also can, like, you have permission to do more than one thing at a time. It's really just about doing what works best for you. And if the thought of not having variety makes you upset or makes you like stressed, then add some variety to your language studies. If the idea of variety makes you stressed out and anxious because then you have to choose, don't do that to yourself. Make the choice now and stick to it long enough to see results. So a lot of the conversations I have with my people are things like that. Just like, okay, what ideas were you having already? What are you leaning towards? All right, let's, figure out the specifics, because I don't want anyone, sometimes I have office hours, so it's a one-on-one call, and sometimes I have group calls with people. And no matter what format my calls with people are, I want to make sure that people are leaving and able to immediately start doing the work, because any sort of lack of specificity in your plans and your routines and your schedules means that it is an opportunity to procrastinate. And I am a professional procrastinator. So I know what it's like to procrastinate, and I put systems in place to help me not procrastinate. And then I help other people put systems in place so that they are not procrastinating. And one of the easiest ways to procrastinate is when you have to then sit down, you're ready to study, you have 2 different options for a textbook, you have a podcast ready, and you're like, which one should I do today? For some people, that works well. For other people, it does not. And when you don't know yourself and you don't know which one works, you probably are trying the same thing over and over and expecting different results, and it's not going to happen. So my long rant that kind of went off the wagon, but I just have lots of feelings and lots of thoughts about this. And that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to host the coaching week. So if you're watching right now and you are interested in testing out language coaching, this coaching week is a great opportunity to do that. The link is in my bio. If you're on TikTok, if you're on YouTube right now, then it is literally above my head, and also in the description you can copy and paste the link. But I really just I've made it my business this whole week to continue to talk about it, because not many people know about language coaching as a thing, or they're not sure if it's something that they need. And so I feel like even if you decide not to work with me, like I'm in partnerships with some other language coaches. So even if you decide not to work with me, and maybe it's time zone, maybe it's just you're looking for someone who focuses on something more specific, that's fine. I just want to help people and show people the power of having a language coach in your language studies, because it goes beyond your language studies once you master how to make it sustainable. And you're not pushing yourself to do things that don't work, feeling guilty about it, going through this cycle of burnout, because burnout can last anywhere from a couple weeks to a couple months to a couple years, where you're just constantly tired. And you're like, I don't want to study today because I'm tired. So we got to figure out a system and a routine for you that's actually going to work. So I'm hoping that, and I'm very excited for this coaching week opportunity to be able to just show people what it's like to be like, you don't have to figure this out on your own. You don't have to struggle. You can bring those challenges, those frustrations to me or a coach like me, and let's figure it out together so that you can walk off with confidence and continue to make progress. That's my thing. It's my favorite thing about the whole process, is being able to sit with people and watch the frustration roll off of people's shoulders, because you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad we're having this conversation, Bront'e. I'm like, I'm glad too. I'm glad you brought this to my attention. Let's figure this out together. Because I just had a call with one of my people earlier this week. So office hours for my VIPs are on Wednesdays. And so this past Wednesday, I had a call with a student who has been focused on Icelandic for about a year now, just really heavily getting into it. Her goal has been to improve her reading, be able to read actual text in Icelandic. And so because reading was a very specific focus, anytime she needed strategies, I would suggest them or help her refine them so they were more specific, because she's like me in that if it was too vague, she would sit there and, spend most of the time she should have been studying on trying to figure out what to do. So we worked on that for about a year together. She's been 8 months consistent with that. And then the past few months, so maybe around March, she decided to come back to her French studies, but she was doing it really casually for a while. And it worked for her. She was like, I really like that I'm just jumping in and doing what I want to do without thinking of it as studying. And then this past couple weeks, she was like, okay, Bront'e, I'm ready to take my French studies more seriously. I really want to figure out a plan for it, but I've tried on my own, the past couple weeks, and now, office hours is here. She's like, help me. And the reason why it was a struggle was in comparison to her Swedish studies, where she's like, I want to focus on reading. With French, she's like, I want to focus on all of the skills: speaking, reading, writing, listening, vocab, grammar, pronunciation, like all of it right now. Oh yeah, no worries at all. But she wanted to focus on all the areas. And so I was like, well, we can technically, but it might feel overwhelming. So let's automatically reduce the overwhelm and let's focus on some key areas that are like the required areas you're going to pay attention to. You can do all the other things if you have time, if you have space, but what are the required things you're going to focus on right now? And so I was like, what skills are you leaning more towards working on? And she immediately was like, well, listening and speaking, but I'm also concerned about listening and speaking because those are the hardest areas for me right now. And I was like, but if you're leaning towards those two and they're a little bit harder for you, that's probably a sign that that's what you need to work on. So what I do with all of the people I work with is, and for myself included, is we set up 3 levels of expectations for our language studies: a good, better, best expectation. And good is your bare minimum. Like if I do nothing else but this, which is really simple and easy for me to do, I know I'm going to be making progress in my language studies. So her level of good was reading is, because she's currently working on it, reading and listening in French, and she was going to be using memorized cards. So one of the things, wait, did I say it right? Listening and speaking. Sorry, listening and speaking for French. But one of the things that I highlight often, and I talk a little bit about this in depth in my sentence building course, but speaking is more than just speaking. There's a lot of other skills that are involved, which is why there are ways that you can improve your speaking without actually talking to another person. So, there's pronunciation, there's intonation, there's the grammar and vocab part of it, but then there's also sentence building, there's recognition. So when someone says the sentence to you, being able to recognize what that information means. There's recall. When you have to say the words, can you recall the words and the grammar and the structure that you need in order to say it out loud? And those are things you can study in isolation without ever having to talk to another person yet. And that's a really great thing to, like when I tell for example, my introverts who are tired of peopling all the time, or just my people who are burned out, they're like, oh, thank goodness. And so she's going to use those memorized cards, and if they have audio, that'll be her listening. If they don't, she's going to practice by saying them out loud and improving her pronunciation. And especially when it comes to language like French, where like you have to study pronunciation isolated. I feel like French is one of those languages where pronunciation can be extremely tricky if you don't start learning it from the beginning. So that's like her level of good. That's something she can do even on a day where she's tired from work and all of those things. Then level of better, we talked about, what was it? Reading next. Yeah. And when we were thinking about reading, because again, like I said, I don't want people to leave calls with me then having to make additional decisions. So it's like, do you have something that you can read from right now? Because if not, we are on this call going to look for some French reading sources for you. She was like, no, I have a textbook. I don't like it as a textbook, but there are some things I can read in it, and it comes with a CD. I was like, perfect. That's going to be your reading material for the next couple weeks. Now, you can decide to listen to it and read along. You can decide to read it out loud. I was like, do you want to make that decision now, or do you want it to be your flexible schedule and you choose in the moment? She's like, I might choose it in a moment. Good. Now you've got your level of good, your level of better. Now, best. On an ideal day when you have tons of time and tons of energy, what is it you're going to be doing? We said we'll focus on writing, and she can summarize the things that she has read from the textbook in her own words in writing. Boom. Good, better, best. Schedule done. And she can figure out, because she knows her schedule better than I do, what days this is going to happen. And in the membership, I also have resources on schedule creation. And so those are resources that she can pull at any time. But now she's walking away from that call knowing clear expectations, not just what resource she's using, but what strategy she's using. And, next week when we meet again, if she decides, okay, I actually need even more specificity, then we can say, well, how long you want to do these activities, or what sentence, what number of sentences do you need to complete. You can get it as specific as you need to for these things. But I'm excited to see where she goes with that. And I have another student who I'll have a call with next week who has fallen off the wagon with her routine. She's doing an amazing job. Life happened and she's trying to get back on track. But I know we can get there because we got there once. And she's been working with me since January. So little stories. Like I said from the beginning, if you were here from the start of my life, you're going to get some stories of my people because I love talking about them and celebrating them. And also this was my distraction from doing the Notion thing, because clearly I haven't done anything yet. But maybe I should get back to some Notion stuff. The thing is like, this isn't going to take long, and I think that's why I'm procrastinating. So like I can copy this and put this here. I'm going to get back to some work, but I'm also going to be chit-chatting still. Oh, it didn't copy. That's fine. So yeah, this worksheet is for the workshops. And I guess I don't need this here either. Oh no, wait, I do. Because I'm going to make a menu at the top. Okay, 3C, 4 columns. We're going to put this one in the middle for home. And I'll put this one here for home. Okay, that works. So if you are watching and you have questions about language coaching, about the coaching week, or just about language learning, let me know. Hey, Renee, back again. Love to see you here. Glad you could make it. I did it. All 5 days. I made it. I have to keep telling myself that because I'm like, I didn't think I was going to make all 5 days, but I did. And it's actually easier than I thought it would be. Like, I thought my introverted self was going to be peopled out, but I've been really good about taking breaks after, like, the calls I have earlier in the day. We did it. Absolutely. We both showed up. I really appreciate you being here again. Love to see you. How's it going? How are you doing? While I get these things organized. I guess I could get the link here for home. Yeah. And then this will now be return to home. Main page. There we go. Off today, getting stuff done. Oh, that's so funny that you said you're putting off doing your hair because I have to do mine today too. So every time I finish with my braids or twists, whatever I decide to do, I try to give my hair a little bit of a break. So this has been like 2 weeks of break of rest. And then I'm going to be putting in some more braids. And I'm dreading it because I already know I'm going to need the whole weekend. And I have a call on Sunday morning with Gladly Global people. Some of my favorite people. I can't exclude the other people that are my favorites. But yeah, I'm dreading that as well. I'm gonna have to start immediately after this live in order to get it done. Oh boy, why'd you remind we're both in the same boat. Oh my goodness. We're gonna get through it. We are going to get through it. What do you think about doing to your hair? I'm curious. Let me see what that is. Oh, yeah, this close to paying somebody for braided. The prices. Well, see, I can't even say anything about the prices because it's been years since I've actually got paid someone to do my hair. So I don't even know what the prices are. You're going to do twists. Nice. Yeah, I had the colors already picked out because you already know me. I always do fancy colors in my hair. But it's because September 8th, I believe, is the takeover day for like here on TikTok, and the new color is purple. So I was like, well, I have to strategically plan to have purple in my hair. Oh, 250. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm alert. That's that. I would say the same thing. I don't blame you. Like, that's 250 you can pay yourself. Nope. Keep that in your pocket. Go buy some lunch and have some change left over, you know? Oh, no. Yeah. No, I don't blame you at all. I can put the home icon here. No, absolutely don't blame you for that. And then I can put an arrow here. So yeah, I know I'm probably going to get more of this stuff done later. I'm going to use this as a way to so how did 75 or 175? Wow, that was the increase? Oh no. Why are they doing that? Oh no. I mean, on the one hand, it's like I understand that people have to get paid, but also we're not getting paid more. So how am I supposed to afford the increase? If one thing increases, everything should increase, including checks. No, oh no, are you going to Beyonce concert? Oh no, we gotta figure something out. My sister went a couple weeks ago. She had an amazing time, so I hope you have an amazing time as well. But yeah, at the Beyonce concert, no, she's paying way too much attention to the people who are showing up. You gotta go and look your best. It's like going to a job interview times 10 because Beyonce, she watching. So yeah, I get it. Don't put it off too long, because I mean, I know for myself, if I put things off too long, then I get frustrated and oh, and the nosebleeds. Still, you gotta show up. If nothing else, for yourself. You gotta do it so you look good and feel good, right? Because when we look good, we feel good. When we feel good, we look good. Vice versa. But no, I understand. And yeah, I would definitely learn how to do it myself. Which is why I was like, next step, cornrows. I'm gonna get better at those. That's a whole other conversation. uh, let's see. I think I'm just gonna copy what's in the coaching week guide. So I'm gonna just put here guide information. Oh, what happened? Sure. There we are. I can't respond. How long have we been live? Ooh, an hour and 10 minutes. You know what I think I might do? I think I might come on again later tonight. If I can. Yeah. And I also want to actually get this email out, and I know I won't I know I won't do much while I'm here. So it's a little bit shorter than I've been doing the past few days, but I showed up. Have fun. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Later today. A mushroom class. I've never heard of that before. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Yep, the ADHD of learning new things. You're like, oh, new interesting thing that I don't know yet. Thank you. Sign me up. Yeah, I get that. And I don't often notice how much I know about a lot of things until I start having conversations with people. And then they're like, you have a lot, like you have a lot of ideas around this thing, or like you know a lot of places to go to I'm like, yeah, I think about it all the time. And then I have to wait a moment and go, oh, I guess that's not everybody's usual thing. Like, community spaces. So someone was asking about where to set up a community, and I was asking them like what type of community. I'm like, you have Discord, but then you can do it on WhatsApp, and if you use WhatsApp, then you can do Nas.io to connect to it. I was like, Facebook is obvious, but then you could do Telegram, and then there's Voxer, but also Mighty Networks and Circle. Like, I started naming all these places. They're like, how do you know all these things? I'm like, good question. Good question. I don't know if I want to answer it. Learn more about tech next. Well, when you start that path, let me know, because I might want to learn some things with you, because I've been meaning to get back into coding, because I learned a little bit, and I know coding ish up to where I need it. Like, I do some coding for my website, and so I'm like, anything I need to know for that, I'm just going to do it myself. But I've also been like, ooh, I want to learn how to make a video game. That's been a thing I've been interested in doing, but don't know when it's going to happen. There's all these things I want to do. Like, oh, I could draw my own anime, and then I could do the voices for the anime. And then I could write a book based off of it and do the audio. Like, I'm interested in doing all these things and learning how to do it, how to, draw in the style that I imagine in my head. And writing is something that I'm always doing. Mostly just writing down the ideas. I haven't actually sat down to really flesh out the stories in a few years. But brain is all over the place. Brain is like, do all the things right now today. Plus one. Oh my goodness. Glad it's not just me. Glad it is not just me. Currently learning how to draw again. Nice. Are you going for like a specific style, or are you just like, I just want to have fun and do whatever inspires me in the moment? Oh, so you can publish manga. Got it. That's something that I want to do. There's so many things that I want to do, and I know I'm going to have time, but oh, to have fun too. Nice. Oh no, it's one skill you had to cut your losses for. I mean, understandable if you're just like, I don't have it in me to keep trying, because it's not, especially because I know with my drawings, and like what I picture in my head rarely comes out on the drawing. When I was painting, it was different. It worked really well, but most of the time it was a rendition of something that was already done, and I could translate it well. When I was doing something entirely from my brain, it never came out as I expected, and that was probably the most frustrating thing. So I tended to naturally draw, like, I can never draw a whole face. I just draw eyes. And sometimes not even both eyes. I just draw one. One beautiful, realistic, or anime eye. Very gorgeous. But that's it. So I would have an entire book of drawings, and they're just eyes. That's it. They're just eyes. But I really do, like, when I try and when I have something to help me sort of visualize it beyond my brain, it's not as hard. And what I've learned is the way I thought artists did art growing up, because I feel like a lot of it was really secretive, was that everyone drew directly from their brain. And what I have learned, especially from like art TikTok, is that no, everybody uses references. Everybody, when you need a reference, you use a reference and it helps you. The teacher gave one project to do for class. The rest of the group had 5. Oh, wow. Oh, no. You made that everyone can do art first and stuff. See, maybe abstract art, interpretive art. Oh, no. That makes me think of like some of my students who, not in art, but some of my students who tried to prove me wrong with a, everyone can like reading. They're like, no, not me. Oh no, I'm wondering like what is that like as the teacher too? But if you say it was funny, then I'm gonna laugh with you, and you're gonna stick to coloring. Got it. It's one of that's one thing I had to reconcile with using references. Yeah, once I learned that, and that was only the past maybe what 3 years. Once I learned that, that changed how I think about my own art, because there was this vision that I had of artists, like I said, that, and like there are people who do that, but generally it's like if you have a specific angle or thing that you're trying to create, there's no shame in going to get a reference. But for me, there was always a lot of shame because I was like, real artists don't do that. You're wrong, past Bront'e. Actually, they do all the time. And I think similarly, that's what I try to do with language learning is like demystify what it's like and what we actually do. So people are like, "Oh, you actually do that? Like you actually struggle?" Yeah, we do. Yep. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Okay. Where are we right now? I think we're doing good with time. Yeah. Well, wait, let me check the community. I'm gonna see if anybody, because I did send this late, and I know time zones are a thing. But refresh. So this is how I know I'm very excited about this coaching week, is that technically we don't start till Sunday. But I was like, I'm going to open it up early so that people can join in. And now I'm like, I want to see the attendees and watch as people start to come in. Oh, I'm so excited. Learning to use alcohol markers. I think I'm just getting old, being slower on the uptake. No, I just think that there are things that are naturally easier for us and then things that are harder, and that changes. But I also understand sometimes I'm like, yeah, I might be getting old because, like, with tech stuff sometimes, or like I lose patience. No, wait, no. I was like, oh, I lose patience now as I got older, and immediately I had a vision of myself when I was younger. I'm like, no, you didn't lose patience just now. You've always lost patience with certain things. So no, I tried, and my brain just said, nope, that's not a real thing. But I don't think, have I ever used alcohol markers? I don't think so. Don't think about it too hard. I almost was like, I wonder if I could get them from Amazon or go to Staples. No, we're not doing that. Oh, I'm going to pretend you said nothing about alcohol markers so I don't go and buy some. I do not need markers. Bront'e, you do not need alcohol markers. You do not need more art materials. Go crochet. Go knit something. It's a conversation I have to have with myself. All right. So I think Well, let me check my email really quickly just to see. All right, so I think, yeah, right, yeah. Then I'm gonna have to get thicker paper. There's gonna be this whole process. That's how it works. You go and get one thing, and then you're like, but then I have to go buy this other thing, and this other thing, and then you have spent 3 times as much as you were planning. Yeah. Thank you for telling me that. That then I'm gonna have to get thicker paper because I have my iPad. If I want to paint with alcohol markers, I will create an alcohol marker like brush. That's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to spend 8 hours trying to figure out how to make this brush. Oh my goodness. And then I'll make a video about it to show people what I'm doing instead of studying. I spent 8 hours creating this brush instead of studying. Follow me. Follow along as I do the thing. All right, I am hungry now, so I think I'm going to call it for the live. But thank you, everybody. I'm just going to check in with people really quickly before I actually finish. If you have questions or any other things, especially about the language coaching, the coaching week, before I head out, thank you for the likes on TikTok because that helps you share this with more people. Thank you. I definitely need to take a moment to eat, but I might be back on later because I know usually I'm on here, like I'm on lives my time, so New York time, anywhere from like 10 to midnight. That's my usual time. We have like late night chats. So I might do that again, but it's also been really nice to come on here a little bit early. Thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, if you haven't already checked out, whether you're here on YouTube or on TikTok, if you haven't already checked out the coaching week, you've been hearing me talk about it, not sure what it is, please go check out the actual page. There are tons of details on there, even beyond what I'm able to share now, and it's a little bit more concise. So definitely check it out and share it with a friend, share it with multiple friends. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all. I'm going to get myself on a schedule. So I'm going to say I'll see you all next week. I will do another live next week and I'll have it on a weekly basis. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. But I'm going to say bye to TikTok first. I think I'm going to say bye to my TikTok people. So bye, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you next week. And now we're going to say bye to the YouTube people. Well, thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you around.